Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I make turtles.
It's now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neal Rule. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Rule, that guy over there, DMac, Darren McCarty, four-time Stanley Cup champion, noted enemy of WWE's Paul Heyman, which we will discuss in just a little bit. We got Sam Flannel. He's on brand. He's on budget. What we got, Sam? Day number 36?
36.
We are 10% of the way home.
Ooh.
For Sam Flannel's
I like that positive
365 consecutive days of not 365 days, 365 business days.
You can't expect me to wear a flannel on the weekend all the time. I got to change it up once in a while.
Absolutely.
Well, on that topic, though, would you be known you're not against wearing a flannel on the weekend?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
You will, right?
Yeah, from time to time.
Okay.
Nice.
I like it. I like it. We got Spencer in the house as well, the noted Woodward heavyweights fame out there. And guys, let me tell you this. You saw when we were downtown at Detroit Music Hall at opening day. Big shout out to everybody, though, that stopped by, everybody that listened to the show, everybody that was involved. Big shout out, too, to everybody at Woodward that made that whole thing go. There was a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that no one has any idea of, least of all me, that they all had to get done. So big shout out to the Woodward Sports crew. Spencer Raxter was living his best life on opening day, DMac.
Oh, he was. He was. We got a couple cameos, but the Woodward heavyweights out in full force. And, hey, some of us who can't do it that well anymore, we got to go to the younger generation. So I was proud of you, kid. What I loved is your 10 p.m. Tweet at night is, oh, I'm happy to lay down. And I was like, you put a shift in, son. I was proud of you. Big D Energy. I'm proud of you.
I appreciate
nicely
that.
done.
Yeah, I got down. That's for sure.
Did you get, at any point, that early evening distant headache?
No, I really didn't. And,
Were you hydrated?
I was hydrated. I was hydrated. A lot of beer.
Like a job.
A lot of beer, a lot of water, First thing I did, I brought a bottle of champagne. Stick brings me up on stage to chug the bottle of champagne. So that was a good way to start the day. But, you got to stay hydrated. You got to had some of those quesadillas from a food truck over there. So I was living good.
You absolutely. He lived his best life. A lot of people were downtown living their best life. As you guys know, it's no secret what it is. And the Tigers came through with a win. However, it was not the best of weekend. Because contrary to popular belief, they continue playing. Like, they play on opening day, but then they play the next day, and they play the next day, and they continue playing. I know that everyone kind of watched the game and checked out and stuff like that. And we'll address it. DMac, I got some, I don't want to say I got slander. I'll take it a step short of slander, but I got some hate on Friday with,
Yeah, but you're spitting truth, and I think that some of the things that you were questioning had come to fruition early on. Obviously there's positives and magical opening day. We'll talk about that, the way that ended, the way that the Tigers stayed in the game and fought and scratched and clawed. But then the rest of the weekend, you got to amplify, from Javi Baez doing Javi Baez things.
You saw all of Javi Baez.
The best of the best and the worst of the worst. Torkelson still looking for the first hit, which is, going in now it doesn't get any easier. You're going into the Boston series, which is 5 o'clock this afternoon for anybody who's going downtown Detroit for that. And, obviously Tarek Skubal, we were expecting big things, and he got lit up yesterday. So, yes, it's way too early to put things in stone. But your observations, Neal, of what it is, some of it's right there, plain and simple. So us as Tiger fans, we just have to figure out how we're going to accept that or not.
Absolutely. Rack and our YouTube chat thread. Remember, you can get involved, too, on our YouTube chat thread. Go ahead, leave some messages on there. You want to get involved with the discussion. Sometimes we'll let you guys program the show through the YouTube chat thread. Our social media handles are on the screen. Any way you want to get involved, certainly, you guys can get involved. It's a WWE Monday Night Raw edition of Big D Energy downtown at LCA. DMac will be in the building. I'll be down there as well. Yeah, absolutely. We'll be down there having a good time. Rack on our YouTube chat thread says, leaving the tent, headed to the game on opening day. I saw Spencer going ham in the streets, too. You were in the streets getting it in, huh?
Oh, yeah. We were in the streets. We were interviewing some people. We threw up those interviews probably weren't the best content. It was not safe for work content, so we couldn't post them on the Woodward channel, but they are up on Woodward Heavyweights. My boy Easy went hard, edited them all together last night. We posted it up last night, and man, we got some gold. There's some crazy.
I think that's important because that's where it's at, right? So different strokes for different folks, and obviously broadcasting, doing the shows over the radio and stuff like this. But yeah, check out Woodward Heavyweights. That's where you get sort of the off the radar, the fun loving stuff, and that's what I loved about watching you guys from a distance. And Neal, I know that both you and I have experienced opening days in our own ways and probably have our top, 3 to 5. But to see the youth, and it's not just the youth here at the station, but everybody downtown sort of bringing that tradition back around again, it really felt Friday like Detroit was back alive. And just the atmosphere and the vibe, was really cool. Like an appreciation of what, one of those things is you don't know what you got till it's gone. And I think that everybody really enjoyed, whether it was outside joining us at the amphitheater, where that was a party.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, from the DJ, DJ Godfather in the house.
DJ Godfather, the institution.
Spinning. Felt like Detroit back in the day. So to see everybody, because what I love is everybody's Detroit is a little bit different. It's like their love for it, and to see the heavyweights get out there and interview people. And didn't you have some dude upside down or something?
Yeah, Easy got the picture with him. It was a guy doing a headstand on the street.
Yeah, just picture. Stuff like that. We were talking about it coming in here with the kids and with Alex and Fish and Maddie this morning, just about people watching and just different. They mentioned Guido and the Cowboy. So I mean, you get everything, but these are stories, and this is what our Detroit is all about. It's good to see the younger generation to get out there and enjoying it and doing a good job, and then being able to put it so other people can enjoy it.
No question. And I know for me, right, because this was a 3-year hiatus, right? Opening day essentially took a 3-year hiatus in downtown Detroit. For me, like you talked about watching the kids and stuff like that, I knew that being down there, and look, I had my little Jameson in the morning and stuff like, it's the opening day stuff. I had it, and it was good, and then I moved on. But back in a younger day, back in a younger time, that might not have been the case. Wow. And it was good. It was good to officially remove myself. You know what when you look around, you look in the room, like the old poker adage, if you can't spot the sucker in the room, you are the sucker in the room. I kind of took a survey and looked around and said, you know what, Neal? This game has passed you by, old man.
That's what it is. That's the see for everybody.
But I'm cool with that.
Yeah, but Neal, and here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that I've learned. This is what works for me. It's not more that I know what I want. It's what I know what I don't want. And it's sort of, I've been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
Right.
So I can sit there and go, because for me, right, it was bringing back some good memories and stuff like this. But again, it was like, okay, time for me to exit. It's their time now. Right. We've had our time. It's their time now. And meaning to go, if you want to go and enjoy the game or just do opening day different. And I think that's okay. What I liked, though, Neal, is it shows me a little bit of what's to come with downtown, whether it's, the draft this year coming or even in a few years, right? We're building towards when the whole world draft party downtown. And I just think that this city's going to be ready. Hopefully with a little bit more time to prepare. But I had a blast. I
had a bunch of people walking up to me, like when I would get off this, because I was dancing on the stage for the majority of the time I was in that tent, and I would get off the stage, I'll go down. People were walking up to me, oh, best hype man ever, taking pictures with me. This lady asked me for my autograph. Dude was throwing 20s at me. I was like, whoa, all right.
Just living your best life, man. Good for you, Spence. I'm here for it. But yeah. But I'm cool with it, man. Like, I officially. I mean, I had known it before, but officially.
And it's okay.
And it's cool. But that's the thing, DMac. I'm happy with it. You know?
Exactly. I'm walking out and I'm having a good time leaving. It's not like the fear of missing out of anything like that. You know what's going to go on, and I think that just the atmosphere with everybody having a good time, being there, and the way that the game went. I mean, that was magical. Right? Those were storybook games, and for opening day, that'll be one if you're downtown. Sort of remember. Shout out to Detroit Dabber 313. Back on top.
Back on top. First one in.
Yeah, we got to like it. So, yeah. But it doesn't get any easier. Back to the Tigers, Neal, like you were saying, is that they got Boston coming into town tonight, right. Who's also off to a slower start at 1-2. But you know what? Manning's got the hill. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So it'll be interesting. You want to get Torkelson his first hit before sooner than later, obviously. So hopefully it'll be tonight. Yeah,
and Honolulu Blue Sparty brought up the lot. He said, "Go easy, go easy a little bit on the Tigers, and the lockout affected teams differently." He said, "Cut them a little slack." And no, it's not over. I mean, we're 3 games into 162. But this is the classic example, though, of both things can be true. Like, yes, it is Game 3 of 162. However, those games Saturday and Sunday, by math, counted more than the game on Friday because it was 2 games instead of 1. And that's the thing with me is Friday was great, man. Who didn't love Friday? It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. It was fun down there. Spencer, out in the streets, all that stuff. It was awesome.
But the
reality is they got cooked on Saturday and Sunday.
And you know what? The reality is the White Sox are the team that you're trying to become. Whether it's pitching, whether it's their hitting, stuff like that, up and down the lineup. That's what we have to do. We have the resilience. Our lineup is better. You have to look at that from top to bottom, but now they got to go out and improve results, and it doesn't get easier. We talked about this. I said first 40 games, stuff like that, because they got to play the Bostons and the New Yorks, and there's a tough games. Find out what you're made of. So, I mean, throw it into talk about putting the feet to the fire early on in the season, but you know what? You're gonna find out sooner than later what you're made of.
No, and that is a question. We'll talk a little bit more about it, about some of the specific. I'm not going to break it down like pitch for pitch or anything like that, but we are going to get into it and talk a little bit more about this Tigers team. I know you guys were really fired up on Friday. You could just tell, man. You could just tell from the comments. You could tell just from the viewership numbers as well. I mean, you guys really represented. So certainly we're going to get into all the Tiger stuff and more. DMac has a new enemy in the WWE world.
Well, let's get it straight. As the infamous John Rambo and Rambo First Blood said, they drew first blood, not me. Maybe because it's a bloodline, but they came after me. And you know what? I'm standing up for all of us in Detroit.
Yeah, so we will get into that when we come back because, again, Raw's in town here tonight. I got my WrestleMania 3 T-shirt on. Shout out to the guys from 20x20 Apparel. They hooked this up for me, so I do appreciate that. I'll be rocking this thing tonight down. And hey, I asked my son, another cool thing over the weekend, too. I went and saw Hamilton last night.
Oh,
From
did?
Spencer in the streets to me going to see Hamilton. That's what you get on this show.
Was that the Fisher? Yeah. Was that at the Fisher?
No, that was in Lansing at the Wharton Theater. Yeah, it was their last show. And guys, look, I do those. Like, I go to the musicals and stuff with my wife. She doesn't watch the show, so I'm not in any danger here. I go because she likes it. It's
okay.
like the auto show.
Go, good hubby guy.
Yeah, it's like the auto show with my dad. He's a big car guy. I'm not. I just want a new one every 3 years. That's all I know about cars. And but he likes it, so I go. I go and I put forth the effort. I try to be a good son. I try to be a good son. Try to be a good husband. Hamilton was phenomenal. It was very, very good.
Did you learn some history?
Yeah, little tidbits I didn't know before. But what I really liked about it was they did this weird thing, and people should try this across all walks of life in any form of entertainment. They modernized the music. They modernized the cast. And lo and behold, people found it entertaining. Really weird, huh?
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it was incredible. If you're ever get a chance, if your wife's going to drag you to go see Hamilton or whatever, go for real. Go. It was awesome. I'll just say it like that. So there's my bit of culture for the day. See, I got the culture for we had, Spencer was Spencer.
Levels. We're leveling. And I was up, throwing DMac stoners up and wrestling in Kalkaska through tables and stuff this weekend. Look at our culture.
Yeah, look at where else you going to get this in this show? You got this. You got this guy, pounding a bottle of champagne on a stage while people throw money at him. This guy smashing lights over people's head in Kalkaska of all places. And I'm at Hamilton, and Sam Flannel's just sitting there wearing a flannel every single day. What do you know? Let me tell you about MyBookie. The best way to place your bets at mybookie.com. Go there today. Enter promo code Woodward. And when you sign up, they'll give you some free money. That's right. Free bets just for entering Woodward when you sign up for your MyBookie account. Plus, you can bet on anything. We were talking about wrestling. You can bet on wrestling to soccer. All major sports, baseball well underway. You still think the Tigers are going to go over 78.5 wins? Fire away with your bonus money at mybookie.ag. Bet on anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Gambling problem? Call the Michigan Gambling Helpline, 1-800-270-7117.
The official sticker partner of Woodward Sports. When it comes to stickers and signage, think Sticker Genius. We support this local Detroit business, and we are excited to show you our latest project, the Planet Fitness Studio from Sticker Genius. If you need custom stickers, wall graphics, window graphics, and plenty more, reach out to our friends at Sticker Genius. We at Woodward Sports couldn't be any happier with the service they provided us. They were quick, easy to deal with, and super professional. Head to stickergenius.com today.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners of the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice.
Neal Rule here for our friends at Big Boy. The Seafood Festival is back, and that includes a Friday night seafood buffet. It goes until April 24th, so get your butt over to Big Boy on Friday for the seafood buffet. Catch it while you can. Fish and chips, fish fry, popcorn shrimp, perch as well. Got to have perch out there. They also have a new fish sandwich, and it's available at participating locations. Happy to have Big Boy back in the fold here with Woodward Sports and the Seafood Fest till April 24th. Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty. We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer here in the house. We're talking culture and everything like that. Klompsauce culture, LOL. Yeah, that's right, guys. We are. Robert Colosio. Oh, boy, Neal must be a fan of the DiCaprio version of Romeo and Juliet. Let's not get crazy, everybody. Hamilton was phenomenal. All right? And let's leave it at that. We don't need to start this.
What's wrong with the DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet? I like that movie.
I've never seen it. I don't know.
Oh,
I liked
good.
it.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying, guys,
John
easy.
Leguizamo.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, listen, look at these guys over here.
It's a good movie.
I prefer live theater.
There's gunplay in Romeo and Juliet. So how can I not? How can I not?
They're shooting up a gas station and stuff. It's a good movie.
I prefer live theater to your peasants' staged entertainment.
I like Steve Brown. I fell asleep at Cats, so it's pretty easy. If it keeps me awake, I guess I'm in.
Yeah.
So another doing it for the wife.
Yeah, Steve Brown went to see Cats, and I couldn't stay awake. It was so boring. So that's how I rate them now, if they keep me awake or not. Steve, look, I'm telling you, man, I'm with you. A lot of them suck, all right? A lot. We went to go see Lion King downtown, and I was majorly disappointed. Majorly disappointed.
Really?
The sets they built and the costumes they built were really cool, but that was it. And I'm not musical elite, so that's not gonna I'm not gonna say, oh, look at that lion costume. Let me keep watching this for 2.5 hours.
Hakuna Matata.
Yeah. So that's a great rating theory you have there, Steve. If you go see Hamilton, bro, you'll like it. Just trust me. Just trust me. A Honolulu Blues Party, we are a diverse audience. We can handle some culture. No, I know. I like it. That's what I appreciate about you guys. But, hey, speaking of entertainment, WWE is in town tonight. So what a huge weekend. You had opening day down at Comerica Park. You got WWE Raw coming into Little Caesars tonight. And I know that some of you that are listening or watching right now kind of roll your eyes and say, oh, okay. But this stuff is real, folks. The LCA will be on jam, as it always is. That's why they always come through here.
Do you have that graphic I sent you?
Yeah.
Put this graphic up, and this is before we get started on this. And this is expand on this. So this graphic came out about WrestleMania, that just happened in Texas over my birthday weekend, the 1st of April, the 2-night event versus the Super Bowl. It's real, folks.
This
is real.
Yeah.
And this is real, and I'm a big fan. I always say it's my favorite sport, just because I don't care if you know what's going to happen at the end. It's about the storylines. The impressions, Neal, right? The viewer watch time. 13.1 million hours for WWE versus 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, the numbers there are real. If you look at the numbers on the screen, 2.2
That's
billion
the Super Bowl, bro.
And that's supposed to be...
That's
right?
not Friends.
So that's the Super Bowl of entertainment, and in what WrestleMania is, and doing it at Jerry's Dome.
My point is that, like, it's in the universe. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in its orbit.
Yeah,
it's there.
It's got its own orbit.
It's
it
there.
really does. And if you've watched WWE and what they're trying to do, in the past, it's always like, it's the production, it's this, it's that, but now it's sort of getting good. It's getting better as with the storylines, and I think the competition with AEW and all the other wrestling promotions that are out there, even the independent scene, that wrestling's really hot right now, and at the top of it has always been the greatest promoter, Vince McMahon, right? And bringing this ship in, and obviously it's exciting because if you are a fan, and we're talking about, Roman Reigns, the star of the WWE, and what he's done, I just think that the production, and you know it from being at a live show.
It's incredible.
It's what I say. Here's the two things. When I'm trying to teach somebody or trying to get somebody into hockey, I have to take them to a live game, right? Because watching hockey on TV just isn't the same. Well, wrestling's the same thing, right? As far as a spectacle event. And a lot of things with the WrestleMania, the entrances and the prestige and stuff like that. You're wearing your WrestleMania 3 shirt. That's something in our core.
Right.
All of us, that the history to whatever else, wrestlers. And what I love about wrestling too, it's like golf, and in a bit it's like hockey. You can pick it up and play it your whole life. It's not an age requirement. So you can like it at different ages for different things. I obviously huge Stone Cold Mark, back in the day, and watching him come back around. But it's the same. It all ties into the same plane as, the 25 years ago, March 26th. Right? It's having history. We all grew up together. Whether you're a Hulkamaniac or whether you were, Attitude Era person or whatever it was, wrestling has a stronghold in most families. And, it is a lot, to some extent, it is a lot like football, where it is, as far as if that's the real sport that owns, sort of the world, the WWE is the one that owns the sports entertainment.
Chuck on our YouTube chat thread says, been working midnights, got a chance to watch live for the next couple days. Again, Chuck, we appreciate having you on. He also says reality TV has a huge following, and it's horrible. And look, I'm not here to debate that, right? Like, I like wrestling. I liked it as a kid, like a lot of us did. I'd say 90% of us did. And I kind of got back into it because my sons are really heavy into it. And look, for me, you guys have heard me talk about this before. I'm going to go in whatever they're passionate about, I'm going to go in with them on. Because I remember when I was a kid, it was the best, right? Like when your dad would shoot baskets with you or play, it was the best. So I just try to replicate that for them and, get involved with it. And I like the way you put that, DMac, because it is something that is timeless in that, I watched it as a kid, got out of it for a while. During the Rock's time and in the late 90s and the early 2000s, kind of popped back in for a minute, then jumped out, now got back in. And Chuck, look, man, I'm not, if it's not your thing, bro, I get it, 100% I get it, because there's large stretches of time where it wasn't my thing either. But it's just, I think it's latched on to a big versatility in that it can be a lot of things to a lot of people, like that get lost in the storylines. Me, I like all the, like you talked about, at the event, the laser shows and the introductions. I like guys that talk on the microphone, obviously. The people that are entertaining to listen to. Some people like the technical wrestling abilities, the athleticism. All that stuff goes into it. So there's like a faction that you can
There's something
latch
for
on
everybody.
to. Right.
You can't wide brush wrestling at any, no matter what kind it is. It's all about your self-commitment to either a person, a wrestler, a faction, a storyline, and if it's done right, it permeates throughout, right? Neal, it's unbelievable, and the numbers show it. The numbers show that this is what the people want. I mean, if you look online and you know YouTube or whatever else, so many different wrestling shows, wrestling podcasts all over the world. You know, I talk to guys and I do a podcast with my boy Ray Faces and Feels in Australia. Right? Never met him, but it's connection over wrestling. This is a worldwide sort of phenomenon at different levels. Now, to have it the way that it is, what I like is it's at LCA. It's here, Monday Night Raw, fresh a week or so after WrestleMania. After, you know, you got Roman Reigns, the tribal chief coming in, whether I will acknowledge him, whether I won't. You know, Paul Heyman, he drew first blood saying stuff about, you know, hockey players being figure skaters and drinking out of a cup, and
we do have that, by the way. Paul Heyman.
So everybody knows I ain't picking no fight. I'm just standing here as that, you know, you come into the D. But what is that? Can you read that?
Yeah. So Paul Heyman sent out a tweet yesterday, unprovoked, by Darren McCarty. This was Paul Heyman's own. Paul Heyman said, you know what was funny about this tweet? I could hear him. I could hear him saying this.
I kept replacing it in his voice.
I will make this so simple someone from Detroit can understand it. Number one, hockey is not a sport. It's figure skating for men who need to overcompensate with a name for their activity. Number two, Darren McCarty needs to acknowledge his tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
Now, let me address, you know what, Paul Heyman in today's NHL. You might have a point. We might have a conversation of the digression of the sport, but that's a conversation you need to have between him and Gary Bettman. As far as your tribal chief, yeah, we'll see. But I tweeted back, and I said, oh, Mr. Heyman, don't you think Mr. Reigns and even Mr. McMahon himself should acknowledge me for allowing you to have WWE and Raw at LCA? So maybe they're coming out to say thank you to me, Neal, for allowing them to be there. So, I mean, the house that we built. I mean, because I don't think Stevie's going to be there, so I'm the wrestling rep for the team. So it's like it's a McKaiser plan when the wrestling comes to town. So we'll see tonight.
Detroit Sports Podcast, our good friends over there at Detroit Sports Podcast. Speaking of that, we'll get John coming on to talk some Detroit Lions. Does a great job with the Lions coverage for SI.com. Is Darren going to walk down the ramp on WWE Raw? The crowd would really love it.
You know, you never know. I don't know.
This guy, man.
I don't know. You never know.
You do never know.
I'm always down for whatever, but you know that's the one thing is you're in the ice, you're on the rink, the ice is there. Flashbacks. I never played in LCA, but I mean, you're in a rink. You never know what happens.
And DMac, you always tell us about the difference between a cold cock and a sucker punch. And so, isn't there a difference between a stunner?
Oh yeah. So don't get it twisted, right? Because there's a difference between a stunner and a DMac stoner, right? Because
100%.
Right, exactly. Because a stunner.
The THC levels are different too.
Well, that's true, but the stunner's with a kick, right, and then grab the neck. The stoner's a punch, and the punch might actually like break your solar plexus.
There he is, right there, everybody.
Well, that's this weekend, and I got slapped by Adam effing Wick, and watch. So I was a special enforcer. Now, the Death Threat Army, who are friends of mine, and everybody knows that my illegitimate son, Tommy Vendetta, who's one of the big up-and-comers. But I'm trying to keep the peace here, right? And then he wants to go and hit his other father figure, right, with a chair. So we can't have that because I know you're not raised that way, Tommy. So I had to get in there. Watch. Had to give him a little lip. Watch the punch. Boom. And there it is. Bam. He'll learn. He knows. I mean, it's tough love up north. Tough love up north. We're doing a little shout out to Mr. Chainsaw Pro, Mikey Zero, and everybody. What a great time, and everybody who's doing their thing. But I look forward to seeing J-Bone and Steve and all the crew down at LCA tonight. It's going to be a party. So, Paul, we'll see you there, bud.
John Suba, what do you think about this one real quick, DMac? Neal, WWE should pick you up for as a manager in a heartbeat. Heel Neal promos would be phenomenal.
Oh,
I would love that.
You'd be down for it. Would be a great.
There would be nothing like
you and Heyman face to face.
25,000 people booing you. Oh my! I would just love it.
And then you know what you could do? You could really tell them about your hate for the Michigan Wolverines. Right? Exactly. You can get it right over. Oh man, you could. Yeah. I might have to, if I have a conversation with Mr. Heyman, I can tell him that you can get major heat in this town.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me tell you about Planet Fitness, home of the judgment-free zone. You can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Membership starts at just $10 a month, all the way up to the Black Card at $22.99 per month. That's right, less than $1 per day. Get you used to the amenities, the unlimited tanning, the hydro massage chairs. Most importantly, anyway, I think, access to over 2,000 locations worldwide with unlimited guest privileges. Join today in club. You're going to pass 3 of them on the way home. Pull in the parking lot. Join there. If not, you're really motivated, jump on your computer. PlanetFitness.com. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There's one now open in Midtown Detroit at the Pistons Performance Center. $0 down, $10 a month right now. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you in there to hook that up. Planet Fitness, DMac, where your fitness
is essential.
At Wing Snob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wing Snob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wing Snob. We just have better wings.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Neal Rule here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Spotless, sanitized rooms, and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They sell the Australian Gold, the designer skin, Cal Tan, and Spencer's favorite Swedish beauty lotions. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, the darkest tans. They are your vitamin D headquarters. 26 locations and more on the way. Spencer's going to go to them all. Chili Peppers Tanning. Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty. We got Spencer Raxton. We got Sam Flannel here in the house as well. Happy to have you all with us as we're going to talk Detroit Tigers coming up here in just a couple seconds, but wrapping up. We do that. We talk wrestling from time to time on here. They showed you the numbers, guys. It's real. Like, I know that we talk about it, and some people laugh about it and joke about it, and even I do from time to time. But make no mistake, man, that stuff's an empire that they got cooking. And it is. It's a lot of fun.
Billions.
Yeah.
Billions.
Absolutely. And so, we'll, just judging by the YouTube chat room, and you remember you can get involved on our YouTube chat thread. You guys are into it to some degree. Not all of you. Not all of you, but a lot of you are. So remember, smash that like button on the YouTube channel as well. Happy to have you all.
You know what I like, though, Neal? But for the most part, and this is it, is that the ones that might not be into it will at least adhere, right? There's something, it's like you're talking about going to see Hamilton with your wife or whatever. We're talking about different things, but I like in our chat thread is that people are like, okay, maybe not my thing, but, I see Dave in here. I haven't watched Monday Night Raw in years. Maybe I'll tune in tonight or something because we're talking about it, and it's about the community. It's the same sort of thing as, hey, this is what we like, what we're involved in, and maybe you'll like it too. If you don't, we're gonna move on to something else. Give us a few minutes.
Yeah. We'll keep it pushing. There is no doubt that would be epic to see Neal out there as a manager. It would be pretty good. I always thought I would be all right with that kind of stuff, especially cutting the promos, man. That would be pretty sweet. But we're gonna be down there, both of us, and that is good to see David say, hey, I might have to flip it on television tonight. I always did that anyway, like the Quick Lane Bowl and stuff like that, like I'll go down there or I'll watch it on TV just to support it because it's here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, that's important. And I think, that all ties into opening day and everything about being down in the city and supporting no matter what it is. And, preaching about, a little side topic, but you look at what DCFC is doing, and talking about that and how they're making noise. And we're talking about, the fan base and being competitive and face and sort of getting the spotlight or getting the eyes from the rest of the country. And it's the respect not only to the team, but to what they have there in Keyworth, so that's a big part because that's part of the city.
Right. No,
I group
right.
it all into one. I don't care. You know what I mean? And it's all supporting the city and the love of the people, and no matter what it is. Don't tell me what, tell me who.
No, yeah. And for those that did miss that on Friday, the U.S. Open Cup draw, Columbus Crew will be coming to Keyworth. That's right. Detroit City FC playing host to an MLS team. So everybody that talks about, hey, I'll pay attention when there's an MLS team. Well, there you go. An MLS team will be playing Detroit City FC at Keyworth. So expect to see you down there next Tuesday.
Yeah, we're going to make another trip. The heavyweights, we're nailing it right now. You got to let the meat slap meat. You got to let the meat slap meat. You got to let the meat slap meat. There'll be some meat slapping tonight down at LCA, that's for sure. But no, and Neal, because you're around and your perspective, and I'm sure that we're going to hear you on the ESPN, not only with DCFC, but other broadcasts and stuff like this. But it's got to be that feeling within the team if we're talking about it like this. But they don't get into these draws and they don't get these games if they don't deserve them, right? So they're actually, where would you say, are they ahead of schedule? Are they
they're further along than I thought they would be.
Further along than you thought they'd be, whatever like that. What I really notice is they play for each other. They're tight. They have a team, and even from talking to Maxi or talking to Antoine Opino or whoever it is, to Nate the goaltender. This is a unit, and Trevor James has done a great job bringing them together, and that's what the whole DCFC is all about, from the players to the fans. And hey, I like to hear it because you see more games than anything else. So get down there. If you haven't been down there, you're missing out. Daniel Gray says Paul Heyman's going to slap Neal for bringing more than 12 items to the self-checkout line. Oh, that would be unbelievable promo. Neal and Paul Heyman in a checkout line showdown, right? That would be some good footage right there. Just me at the supermarket. Oh, your 20-item rules do not apply to me. Right? Because I am the best in the checkout game today. Exactly. And then you're firing 25 items through the 12 in record time, and then you're in his face and stuff like that. If you can do that, and he can't do it, and he drops it, and he breaks something, and it's a big, there's a lot of steam. Schmozzle. There's a lot of steam right now about me as a manager. I haven't watched wrestling since college, but it was fun. I could see Neal as a manager. Chuck Brewer says Neal would show up at Raw as a manager for a couple of Ohio State Buckeyes. Yes, he would. See? There it is. Do you know the difference between my guys and your guys? Championship pedigree. It's something you know nothing about. Yeah. Whoa. Just off the top of your head, right? I mean, that was just now. I like it. With some hate and stuff like that. Hey, dude, I can feel the heat through the computer right now. I can feel the heat. Oh, man, I love it. No, I love it, though. That would be a good time. Yeah, but the Tigers opening day, didn't want to get into that whole, just do a reset. And I know it's going to sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here, where Friday was electric, and they came back and got the win. And it was great, and it was fun, and everybody loved it, and baseball was alive, and they were on pace to win 162 games. They were going to go 162-0, and that was going to be it. But, you couldn't write that storyline any better. The new big-time free agent, Javi Baez, hits one off the wall the opposite way. And you know what? There is a part two to this statement, DMac, but that, as we're showing it right now on our YouTube channel, that right there was Javi Baez, though. Because how many dudes on this roster, and this is always the barometer for me, dudes that can hit the ball with power to the opposite field, those are pure hitters in my mind. Those are feared hitters in my mind. And you saw what intrigues everybody with Javi Baez, with that one swing. No, and absolutely. And I go back to, the ninth inning with Divine Child's Eric Haas, coming off the bench and hitting the solo shot, and then Austin Meadows, proving, not only with 3 walks on the day, but that triple to set up the go-ahead run. This is acquisitions and guys, doing stuff that they're sort of, paid to do or signed in to do, like Javi Baez. But again, right, the one side of the coin is him being able to do that, hit it to opposite field, score that run, and then the other side of the coin is what happens the rest of the time. So it's sort of the good with the bad. So it's what we expected, Neal. You haven't seen anything you haven't expected yet, right? See, look, but that's not what I was told on Friday. And look, I get it. I was drinking the Jameson too.
Everybody's excited.
Yeah, I get it.
You can't. Come on, man. It's that for.
But what were people saying to me though, DMac? What were they saying? You saw it in the YouTube chat thread.
Checks in, but you can be like that when you haven't seen a game yet, right? And you can be as hopeful as you want. And you can go until you lose a game 162. But the reality is that they're in a tough division. They got a really tough schedule coming out. I like the lineup. When you look at the lineup up and down, they should be able to compete. I think that's what the one thing is, right? They should be able to compete. And other than the Friday game, which they had to show resilience because they were 2 hit through 7 innings too. So I think that what you're going to see with the Detroit Tigers lineup is that you're going to have to stick around for 9 innings because they're going to go cold in a whole bunch of different spots. And whereas you have the Bostons coming into town and you watch the series between Boston and New York, that's, back and forth, right? Who's the most resilient at the end? I just think that with the Tigers, and it comes down with pitching and it comes down with batting, it's consistency, right? Can they get that consistency out of it? So, you want to see guys, get going. Obviously, Candelaria in the 4 hole get protected by Cabrera in the 5. That's we mentioned that's one of the things that we talked about on Friday. Is that going to work? That experiment seems to be happening looking at the opening day, or looking at today's lineup. So it's early. I mean, you can't. There's 162 games, so you got to break it down. That's why I said 40 games, which is a quarter way into the season, and then we'll reevaluate. So hopefully they can get as hot as they can get cold.
For me, for the opening day thing, Javi swag, man. I love it. I'm all about making baseball cool, making baseball fun. And with him, the bat drop, the walk down the first base, I just love it. I love every second of that.
But we saw every little bit of Javi Baez on Friday, and then we saw it on Saturday when he tried to make a play that wasn't there and really hurt the Tigers' chances of coming back in that baseball game, made an error in the game as well. But I don't have a problem with it. Was I a huge fan of this? I thought it was a little much based on the analytical production that you get with him. But, whatever. You need to do something.
Yeah.
They were one of the worst teams in baseball last year up the middle defensively. Mm-hmm. One of the worst.
Yeah, he's better than Willie Castro. That's for sure.
Hey, man, you got room on that limb that you climbed out on right there? No, but it wasn't. The weekend was popping downtown. I know some people are rolling up through Foaling as well.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people are going down the Foaling Warehouse. That's where you want to go down, before the DCFC game. It's the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. You can host your corporate party, team building event, or just come in with your family and friends, have a good time. There are 2 different ways you can play. They have $10 unlimited open play where you can go down there, open to close, play as long as you want, throw your arm off, or they have private lane reservation, $120, up to 10 people for 2 hours. Get your own lane, do whatever you want. You can bring any type of food you want. So you can bring your wing snob, you can bring whatever you want in there, have a good time, enjoy it. And of course, they have over 100 beers at multiple fully stocked bars. You don't feel like making a decision, 100 beers is a lot to choose from. They have a $2 mystery beer vending machine. Put in $2, pops you out a beer, no hassle, no fuss, just good beer. So come on down in person in Hamtramck and get your Foaling on. Or check them out online at foalingwarehouse.com. Again, that is foalingwarehouse.com. This is Big D Energy. We will be right back.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
You asked for it and we listened. The Seafood Festival is back at Big Boy, including a Friday night seafood buffet. Catch it while you can, available at participating locations until April 24th. Also available, the new fish sandwich. We'll see you at Big Boy.
Back at it, Big D Energy. Woodward Sports Network here on a Monday. Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty here in the house with you. Happy to have you all along with us. Sam Flannel, Spencer in the building as well. We're talking some Detroit Tigers. The opening day into the opening weekend. They will play the Boston Red Sox today. I think 5:10 or something like right around 5 o'clock today. Get there at 5 o'clock, you'll be able to see the first pitch. But, we saw all of it this weekend, I think. I think we saw a team where A.J. Hinch finds a way. Because I'll be honest with this, DMac, and I've already professed my love for A.J. Hinch for a very long time. And I remember when we talked, when they hired him, and there was discussion, there was a faction of the people that were upset about the Houston Astros thing. And you know me, DMac, I don't care about that stuff. I've never cared about that stuff. The bottom line is this in professional sports. It's not about feeling good. It's not about any of that. Who is the best man for the job? And A.J. Hinch, if he's not, he's in the running as one of the best managers in baseball. And already we saw the way he was able to maneuver and keep the Tigers in that game on opening day, to keep the Tigers in that game on Saturday. And look, for somebody who was labeled a hater on opening day, I will pencil Sunday away, because when you play 162 games, and you tell me if this is true, DMac.
That's true.
You played half of those, half that number of games in the NHL every single year. So I would say in 162 games, there are 10 where you're either going to blow somebody out or get blown out. As far as hockey goes, there's 5 of those where you get blown out?
There's 5
you get cooked in 5 games every year, no matter what. That you were going to lose no matter what.
Or you're cooking,
now.
Whatever else. Or there's nights where it doesn't matter what you do. You just don't have it,
Yeah.
You relate it to gambling. Poker can't get a hand, can't.
Yeah, you
get
go
good
through
hands,
that.
can't fit the board, go to a slot, every slot machine you play, can't do it. So there is sort of a rhythm to that, but it's perseverance, right? It's perseverance, and it's the one thing is that you can't let it build. So the most apparent thing, and I think in baseball where you have series, the fresh start, right? So taking a butt kicking at the last game of the series and the go-home game or whatever isn't as detrimental when you have a new team coming in as if you lose the first game of the series and get pounded. It could, mentally affect you or whatever like this to get over that series hump. So, managing is huge, and I think that you bring up a great point, right? So it's the combination of with the talent, with the great manager making the right moves. Now, that doesn't always happen. But again, do you trust the guy making the call? And A.J. Hinch, he's proven that not only last year, but even early in the season, coming out with the win. Substitutions at different times, pitching, stuff like this. You mentioned it's to your point on the opposite end, Neal, how many games will the manager affect positively because of this? And I could say, there's probably 10 games this year that A.J. Hinch could be a big factor. And that usually comes down to how many times do we see it? Do you keep a pitcher in? Do you take a pitcher out? Do you pinch hit for a guy? Who do you start here? Who do you, those different questions, but it's having the finger on the pulse of his team. And when I look at any manager in baseball, I think A.J. Hinch has as much as anybody else as knowing who his team is and what he needs to get out of him.
Walter Briggs on our YouTube chat thread says some of the best teams the White Sox are one of the best teams in Major League Baseball, let alone the division. And Walter, that was my point, though. When I talked about this series going in, I was going to say we going to see. We are going to right out of the blocks. We are going to see because
we going to see.
We are, Drake, and we did see. Unfortunately, we did see. But still, through that, is, and this was my point with all of it, DMac, getting labeled the hater and people saying what they were saying is, okay, we put out the poll, what was it, like 75% of people expected them to contend for the playoff spot, right? It was
Right.
I don't remember, it was a massive number, whatever the number was. The White Sox are the teams that are swimming in those waters, and you have to swim with them. See, that's the line to me. That's why it was big. And no, again, it's not season defining. It's not over. Don't back up the trucks. Don't turn this place into a parking lot. It's not Major League. But, however, as my good friend Terry Foster likes to say, that's where you want to be, right? Because when you say playoffs, which more than 3/4 of you said that was the expectation, to be in the mix, those are your contemporaries. That's who you have to be with.
Well, you got to be on their tail, right? But
That's
the
right.
White Sox, you got to be. If it's the sharks and those little sharks or fish swimming underneath the sharks or whatever, that's where you want to be. You're looking not only how the White Sox are put together, but they are the top team in this division now. Do I think you're better than Cleveland? You're better than Kansas City? Yes. You know, the Twins. That's up to see, but or do you have the potential to be? You have the potential right now, Neil. Here, let me ask you: do the Tigers have the potential with the lineup to be the second best team in the Central?
I think that's a very realistic expectation. Yes.
So that's what I'm saying, but if you and I are sitting here, we can look across and agree.
But what does that
we're not
look
as
like?
good as the White Sox, right?
Yeah,
we're
definitely
not as
fair.
good as the White Sox, but we should be as competitive and battling the rest of the division out, right? So if we win those games and take care of the rest of the division, and every time we go up, the White Sox will be our Colorado, so to speak, back in the 90s, where the only way out is through. We're going to eventually have to go through these guys. But if we can start taking care of the lesser teams and that have given us problems, and it's in your division. If you can win in your division, right? What's made the White Sox successful in the past?
I'll tell you what. You want to know what really made them successful? That like 4 years ago they had $30 million on their pay. They bottomed TF out.
So
they just bottomed, and then they sat it out. Kind of. Does this blueprint remind you of anybody in sports where they bottomed out? They waited until their books got right. They acquired draft capital. They hit on their draft. And now here they go. Now they're on the come up. Does that remind you of anything
Lions,
you're seeing?
maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe Lions. But that goes to show too. So if the closest thing to you, because you can't compare yourself to the Yankees or
No.
Boston, whatever. So the White Sox
Or
are your
Tampa.
next, right? And also too, I'm not going to argue with anybody that says, well, you got to get through Minnesota first. They're better than okay. Yeah, I mean Minnesota, Detroit. I think that we're better than KC and with what Cleveland has. But again, you got to go out and prove it. So to me, you prove it first by in your division. And if you can be the second best team in this division and then start picking away at the White Sox, right? Like being able to go into Chicago and win a 2 out of 3 game series, you know, and do that. That's when you see the progress. So throughout, that's what you got to look at this season and back to AJ Hinch. Right? I think that the big thing with the way he's put this team together, right, is that he knows he's so self-aware of what he has and who he needs to come up big and you know, the opportunities. So this year for the Tigers might be that, hey, do we really have this? And more so than not, you're going to give the young hitters time, but it's in the pitching because now it's sort of stretch them out.
Yeah.
You know, are we on innings lock or are we not? But are like, you know, Matt Manning gets his first start tonight at home against the Red Sox, right? Huge start, you know, big start because this could propel him if he wants to be one of these guys that he was supposed to be. This is where he starts to show it out.
And look, there are no must wins or anything like that in Game 4 of 162. But when you look at the setup for baseball right now, and you look at the Red Sox coming in, as you talked about, as a lot of you have talked about in our YouTube chat thread, they're at 1-2. Don't think, and I'm not saying, again, guys, like I'm not saying that it's over or it's on now or anything like that. But don't think in that Red Sox locker room, D-Man. You tell me. You're in locker room. Don't think in that Red Sox locker room, they're not looking around going,
Well, look at the AL East. Right?
That's what I'm saying. You can't. The Red Sox can't be like that. Yeah.
They can't. So when they go to other divisions and they play like the Tigers up, and these are the pros teams, whereas they look at the record and they go, we need to win these games. It's the same thing that these AL East teams do to the rest of the league. What I'm talking about, the Tigers need to do in their division. So yeah, and because here's even more important, right? In the AL East, if you don't get off to a good start and you get behind, you're fighting from behind the whole time. It's tough to win because you got to play so many games inside your division. So yeah, they're going to be ready to play tonight.
Yeah,
and you know they're the consummate pro team, right? I mean, watching them in the Yankees, it's just that's different level, right? There's just
Yes,
a bunch of teams on different level, but we can get there. We're not there yet, but we can build towards there.
I forgot the Yankees got Gallo. And now they have Gallo. They got Donaldson. Obviously, they got Judge and Stanton.
And that's where,
Torres,
too, and this is something, too, Rack in our YouTube chat thread said earlier. He said the only real concerning thing I saw was the amount of swings and misses and the swings at bad pitches and stuff like that. And let everybody, because I know that a lot of us are just coming back to baseball for the first time in like 6 or 7 years. That's baseball now.
Yeah.
Like, you go through that lineup.
Oh, yeah.
There will be roughly in the Yankees lineup, they will strike out roughly about 2.6 million times this year, give or take.
And they're going to hit 550 home runs.
Yeah, like that.
Especially in that ballpark.
Yeah. But that's the way, too, where we've seen the analytics crunch of everything. It's also taken hold in baseball, where dollar for dollar, there's no money in giving away outs.
Yeah.
That's why nobody bunts anymore. That's why, I always get a kick out of it when I'm sitting at the baseball game, where you always have this contingent, and they usually share like a certain, similar demographic. They're always like, "You gotta lay down a bunt here."
Yeah.
No, bro, you don't get crooked numbers by laying down bunts.
Chicks dig the long ball.
Well, and there's that too.
The long ball.
Absolutely, there's that too. I do want to continue this Tigers discussion. Mike G, Frank Thomas used to kill the Tigers, not the way Joe Creedy used to kill the Tigers. Good God, Joe Creedy. If they isolated his Tiger numbers, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. He would.
Isn't it funny, though? Like, that's a topic for some other show, is that who has dominated other teams. So, for me, I own Patrick Waugh. I mean, if you not only playoff goals, but I think I got like 13 career goals, regular season playoff against him. Why is that? I don't know.
You're in his head.
It's just the way that it is. Some guys have better luck against other guys. In baseball, it's even better, where you see some of the numbers. When they own you, they own you. And don't think that doesn't play in the back of somebody's mind.
No, absolutely. Let me tell you about the Sports Marketing Agency. They've been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for a decade against the issues around mental health and substance use disorder. With the help of NFL alumni, Sean Jordan has been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. Go to woodwardsports.com and check out the Sports Marketing Agency podcast. This is the F Word. It's a series on fentanyl. If you're struggling with substance abuse or mental health, and I will, chances are there's somebody out there that is, they are here to help you. Go to thesportsma.com. Again, thesportsma.com. It's a sports marketing agency.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Neal and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
That never gets old. You know what else never gets old? Sticker Genius. Yes, the official sticker partner of Woodward Sports. When it comes to stickers and signage, think Sticker Genius. Their website, stickergenius.com. Now, look around this room here. Yeah, we see us talk about Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. 24 hours to redo this whole studio, all the signage. It's wicked awesome as it is at Lady Jane's. So Sticker Genius, let them help you like they've helped us here at Woodward Sports Network.
Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty. We got Spencer, we got Sam Flannel. We are well represented here. Talking Detroit Tigers opening series weekend. Toon says the AL East is scary. Every team is very good except for the Orioles. And that was my point on Friday. That's my point going forward. Here is, if you fancy yourself a playoff contender, then you have to swim in the waters with the White Sox, with the Yankees, with the Red Sox, with the Rays, with the Blue Jays, with the Astros. You see what I'm saying, though? When you start, I always like to say, when I start working backwards, that whole 77% of fans expect the Tigers to contend for the playoffs. Not to mention the fact, T-Mac, you have to hit, if you're the Tigers, and the it was one start, so I'm not closing the book on anybody, certainly. But if you're the Tigers, you have to hit, and I talked about this with Tony Paul, you have to hit a 5-leg parlay, okay? Mize, Skubal, Torkelson, they all got to produce, and produce way above their weight. And you're talking about somebody in Torkelson. To be a play, and again, guys,
to be in the conversation with the
in
likes
September
of the
to play meaningful games in September. You see what I'm saying here, guys? Like Manning, you got 3 young pitchers here, man, and odds are one of them's going to bust out, right? Sam Flannel, right?
Right. I mean,
is that crazy?
No, of course not. But if you can get 2 out of 3, though, that's pretty darn good anyway.
That's what you're trying. That's what you're shooting for, right?
Yeah, and I think they will get 2 out of 3. I think Manning is the one most likely to bust. That's just my opinion.
I think that, to your point, Neal, is that a lot of times when people get excited about the beginning of the season and stuff, they don't really realize most people aren't in depth into the other lineups of other teams. Right, because you forget that because you go Boston, New York's, Toronto's, Houston's, and then that's 4 teams right there, right? And then you got to look. Oh, well, this guy got traded here. This guy got traded here. Oh, this team's better. Oh, they're making a push, right? Because there's usually 1 or 2 teams that are doing what the White Sox did before, sort of getting their books right and doing that. But everybody else is trying to improve to the most part if they're a spender. Right? I'm not talking about the Kansas Cities and the Pittsburghs and the teams that don't spend money. I'm talking about the teams that actually try to compete and try to get in there. You look at it in your own division until you can handle the American League Central and compete with the White Sox or be second fiddle to them, but own the rest of the teams in Kansas City, Cleveland, and Minnesota. That's when you see the progress. And to do that, it hits to your point. They need some production. They need the Miggies to be Miggies. They need the Grossmans to be Grossmans. They need Baddoo second year to keep gradually. They need progress, right? They don't need perfection, but they need progress. But I think the glaring thing, what you're talking about, Neal, is that we see where the misses are, where the holes are that need to be plugged. And over this weekend against the better teams, which we are facing early in the season, those disparaging negatives will be amplified.
And for this Tigers team to make the playoffs, they got to win the division. Like, they're not getting one of those wild card slots. Like
you're going to need 90 wins.
Yes, you
to get a wild card spot.
You got 4 teams in the AL East that are going to have 90 wins, and so they need to beat the White Sox.
And this was my point on Friday again, where I was being a quote unquote hater. It was just, no, I'm looking at the math, guys, like the way that it works out, and. You know, when you look at it, too, here early, and again, I know it's 1 series. I know it's 3 games. I do. But Torkelson and Baddoo are 0 for 15 with 9 strikeouts.
Yeesh. Yeah.
I didn't make that up, guys. That's what it is.
And that's not good.
No,
can't win.
No, you can't.
You can't win.
You won't.
Even more importantly, you won't win.
No.
And guys, again, I'm not saying it's over. Are you concerned?
We're just trying to make just to see where you're at,
so
that you're not smoking mirrors and down the road going, oh, well, I thought we were going to win. No, this is the amplification. Now, if Baddoo and Torkelson on the opposite end are productive, well, these games, it shows you the why, Neal. Why this happened, why the White Sox were able to handle the Tigers this weekend. And then one of the reasons is you look at the lineup, and when you're not getting any production from the bottom, even though you're looking at the roster and saying, hey, I like this lineup, it's got some pop and stuff like this, but no production, you and I might as well have batted there.
It's true. Sam, I always go to you because you're very level-headed. You are. You wear flannels a lot, but you're very level-headed. Am I being obtuse?
Ooh. No, I mean, the thing that I'm even more concerned about, and I know it's one series, I know it's 3 games, I know the White Sox are the class of the division, but none of the pitchers were good. Eduardo Rodriguez was okay, but Mize and Skubal weren't very good. Torkelson and Baddoo went 0-for. I mean, you got a guy like Austin Meadows, he had a hell of a series, and that's good for an acquisition and a trade, but people saying that they're going to make the playoffs, they have to win the division, like Spencer was saying, and I don't think that's going to happen. Not this year. With the White Sox are a damn good team. They're going to win it again.
Right. I mean, they were minus, 250 to win the division for a reason. I mean, that wasn't by mistake or anything like that. Like, that's what they were on mybookie.com. So, yeah, and look, I will say this, too. Let me get this off my chest, because I thought this right away, and this is on me because I didn't realize this, and I should have. How great was it on opening day, by the way, to watch all these aces on all these staffs throw 4 innings because they're not right, because they didn't have the time in spring training, because they had the stupid labor stoppage that's costing performance in this game, that makes you miss the opportunity to see the guys that you want to see play in this game. Nice job, guys. Really good. But I was told it didn't matter. Oh, they'll get a deal done. It doesn't matter. No, it's spilling over into the season. It is.
It matters now into your viewing pleasure of
Absolutely.
The top guys. And the biggest thing is injury prevention, right? So if you're not, the starting pitchers aren't stretched out, different things like that, you're paying these guys millions and millions of dollars. You can't afford to get somebody hurt. So again, that revamps your lineup too. That goes back to what I was saying, is that even though you're absolutely correct, the starting pitching was below average, it still comes down to me, once they get going and level the ship, it's the bullpen, right? Because exactly what you're saying. So even if these young guys pitch, they're not going to extend the innings. So if you can get 5 or 6 out of them, that's the bonus. You still got 3 innings with relievers, so there's still that, and I think that's more of what Major League Baseball is nowadays and stuff like this. It's just more amplified because, and you're explaining the why, is because, well, you had less training camp, you had this, so guys can't go out there and they don't want to get hurt. And then you suffer as a fan because you don't get to see the best guys.
Yeah, nice effort. Robert Closia breaks this down very, very well with this. Check this one out. This pitching staff is a 4 to 5 runs a game pitching staff, so they're going to have to hit. Bingo. You start working backwards from it. They will have to hit to win game. They'll have to.
Yep. It's almost like the Red Wings, right? Where it's different and it wasn't amplified as much because they can score, right? So the other team's putting 5 against them, they could get 6. In the past, they couldn't get more than 3 goals. So, yeah, the offense is more there, but then it doesn't keep your focus on the defense, right? Because the games are getting higher, and if you're being able to pull it out 4-3, 5-4, a little lackadaisical, but at the end of the day, you have to pay attention to the defense. You have to pay attention, to the pitching. If the pitching's not there, for the hitters, hitting's like scoring goals, right? So you're gonna have to do it. Now, the whole thing is, in baseball, the offense can take care of the defense, right? If you're bombing away, like, you can get away with a few errors here and there, or a suspect defense or pitching, if you have the bats. What has the Yankees done, in the past? And they've had good pitchers, but these, it's the ballparks. They rely on, like we said, on the long ball. Sure, they don't care if they strike out, right? Because they know how to put runs on the board. The new Major League Baseball is, the 3-run homer, right? The big pop and strikeout, but it's about putting runs on the board instead of, producing the runs in the old school game.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the way it's going to work. So, when you boil it all down, they are going to have to hit. This lineup's going to have to hit. And Torkelson and Baddoo. And guys, look, I hate to be the bad news guy here. They're 0 for 15, and they've struck out 9 times.
So what's the
So let me ask you, Neal, put on your AJ Hinch or whatever with Torkelson. When do you become, is this a worrying thing?
No.
Is it a confidence thing? Is it something, just keep throwing them out there?
Oh, absolutely. Because I go back to this, DMac, who do they have that's better?
No, I get it. But I mean, it's like one of these things with confidence and, not trying to crush a kid early in his career. I just wonder, I'm just asking, do you think there's any, worry about the mental side? Or
no, because he's drawing walks still.
Okay, so there it is. So he's still, even though he's struggling with the bat, he's figuring out a way to get on
to
base.
some degree.
And to that point, right, Neal? That's what great players do. And he's not a great player yet, but potentially great because they find a way that even when they're not on their game or not the best of the best, to still be a positive contributor, right? Even getting on base.
And you could tell he's squeezing up. I think I can tell that he's squeezing. Like I think he's a guy. He's a guy that needs a hit.
Squeezing it. He's definitely squeezing it.
No, I mean I think he's squeezing it, but it's one of those things where he needs a hit more than most. Just to get the hit.
Yeah, no, yeah.
How many games did it take you to get your first goal? You remember?
Not many. I got it in October.
So not a ton.
I think it was like 2 weeks.
Okay.
So it might have been like 5 games, 6 games. But it wasn't, you know what I mean?
But you weren't rolling in there on Yzerman's line, playing every power play minute and stuff like that.
I wasn't rolling in on Yzerman's line, playing every power play. I think it was, my first goal was assisted by the late Sean Burr and Keith Primo.
Yeah?
2-on-1. Low glove, Bob Asenza. I don't think you could score that these days.
Yeah. And you also, too, at draft day didn't say you were going to fill the nets. Fill the opponent's nets with the pucks,
I was going to fill the penalty box. No, I did say I'd do whatever it took. Whatever you want me to do, let me know.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you want to get a haircut, what does it take?
Oh. Is that where we're at right now? It takes Lady J. If I want to get a haircut, as I should, I think I'm going to go over there right after this just to gussy up for tonight, just in case I got to make an appearance if somebody wants to acknowledge me. I mean, there's acknowledgement going all around. Let's acknowledge Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Acknowledge the fact that you like money, I like money. Well, here's an opportunity to win $100,000. Yes, $100,000. What you need to do is you walk in, you sign in, you sit down at any Lady Jane's, which is open 10 to 8. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week, wherever you go, and you ask that beautiful stylist, you say, hey, here you have a draw, and they say, yes, would you like to sign up? You say, yeah, and you said, would you like the King's treatment? And you say, absolutely, yes. Next thing you know, you're sitting over there, and me and Neal are watching you jealous getting the 10-minute head massage. This could be you only at Lady James. Why? It's wicked awesome. Big D Energy, Neal Rule, DMac. Be right back, Woodward Sports Network.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel. We got Spencer here in the house as well. Mike G in our YouTube chat thread. $100K, that would buy a truckload of flannels for Sam. That's wicked awesome. Would you spend it all on flannels?
That would be a terrible, terrible use of money.
But I didn't ask you if it would be a good use. I asked you, would you spend it all on flannels? Because summer's coming. You're going to need some sleeveless ones.
Believe it or not, I'm actually pretty frugal with my money, so no, I'm not going to be that dumb to just spend it all on flannels, but I might take 1,000 of it.
Would you invest in big flannel?
Does big flannel exist? I mean,
he's anti-big flannel establishment.
Flannel? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He buys mom and pop's flannels.
Absolutely, yes. No $100,000 worth of flannel, but 1,000. I mean, I need some sleeveless ones. I need some short sleeve ones, so, man, I could really use that $100,000.
He said he's frugal, DMac.
Good for the kid. I don't know what that means. I mean, that's not me. So, I mean, give it away. I'm red hot chili peppers. Give it away. Give it away. Give it away now. So that's good. It's a balance.
It is a balance.
New information. Nice.
It is a balance. There's some information.
$2,000 on it.
There's some information coming out of Lions draft, and we're gonna look, guys. Buckle up because opening days here. We got the Tigers that certainly we'll be touching on. But we are going wall to wall. We'll be doing NFL draft stuff every day, at least a couple segments. And we won't do. I'll make a deal with you. We'll do it, but we won't do Malik Willis here today to start. Okay, I promise you that. Which I know a lot of you are looking like Tiger on the 17th at Augusta, just with the fist pump. Yeah. No, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do the Malik Willis today.
But still, be prepared.
Just be prepared. That's all I'm saying. I will say this though. I'm being told to be prepared.
Ooh.
Yeah.
By Dan Campbell, I'm being told to be prepared.
Wow.
Because the thing that I'm against, and we can have this discussion again. I'm fine with it. Are the Lions more interested in Kyle Hamilton than maybe we/I/you/us thought?
Hope. That we hope they are.
That we hope they are. Right. Absolutely. Positional value, I guess, doesn't matter, huh?
Yeah,
Spencer?
that's what Dan Campbell's saying. We got the quote right here. He doesn't care about positional value with the number 2 pick.
Which, again, I have my reasons, and certainly I'm not here. I'm never going to sit in this chair and look into this camera and talk into this microphone and say, Dan Campbell's wrong and I'm right. I'm never going to do that. I'm here to entertain, to give you a different perspective. I think a certain way about this type of stuff. And for me personally, I will go back to it. The whole Kyle Hamilton thing is a thing I won't understand, because why would I pay an unknown $10 million a year to play safety when one of the very best Pro Bowl ones in the NFL just got 15?
I don't want it either. I really don't. I mean, but like you said, that's what they get paid for. That's if that's what they think. I hope that Brad Holmes holds a little bit more positional value thought than Dan Campbell does, because ultimately it's his decision and not Dan Campbell's. But we'll see. I really think they're throwing a smokescreen. They've been talking about Kayvon. They've been talking about Malik Willis. They've been talking about, Trayvon Walker. They've been talking about all these different guys. So hopefully it's not Kyle Hamilton. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and maybe Gromit 0237's at this level. It says Lions are interested in every player to see if a team wants to trade up. It's sneaky smart. And, it's... Look, you have to do this, I guess. You have to play the game. I never bought into it, DMac, as much as some people has about like the smoke screen and what you go to the media, because everyone knows if they want number 2, they know your number. You know what I'm saying? They know Brad Holmes' number. They can call him.
Yeah, but a lot of it too. It's sort of like right now as we get down to the end of the draft, it's poker time. It's poker time. So you can throw out whatever it is. You don't know what somebody's sitting, because I believe when names come up, no matter what, if they're on any team's list, there's got to be a conversation behind the scenes, right? Is that, hey, did you hear what Detroit did? Do you think they're serious? No. Think they're serious? Yes. Who knows? Doesn't matter. It's smokescreen. My question to you, right, is whoever they pick and what it is, if it is Kyle Hamilton, show me how it makes sense moving forward with the money or whatever like this. Show me the why. Tell me the why and explain that. That's all I need to know is you show me the direction. You go this way and you show me this is what we did and explain the money. And it's not like, oh, we just went out and made this pick. If they pick whoever they pick, right, it's the thought that's gone behind it and the due diligence. And I hope Dan Campbell can come out and say whatever he wants. At the end of the day, I think, Brad Holmes and the direction of this organization, it's Brad Holmes is picked to put the team together. He is the GM. So, I mean, I don't read anything by it. It's the same thing as the Malik Willis. Just at the end, if you're hearing this, guys, I go back to what Neal says. It's just be prepared. Like, you're not going to get hit out of left field, right? You're going to get hit if it's not the guy you want by a punch, but trust me, if you see the punch coming, it does not hurt as much or affect you as much as if you don't. So that's all it is, whether you like it or not. Now, the whole thing, every time Kyle Hamilton comes up, it's always money. Paying the guy at that, paying the safety at that. That's the downtrodden. Now, if Dan Campbell or Brad Holmes comes out after they pick him and they realize that and they say this, but their reasoning is because it supersedes the money, then it goes back to me trusting the process and trusting who's in charge. So to me, it's the same conversation as talking about Malik Willis. You said you wouldn't mention him. I didn't. But it's the same thing. It's more of a be prepared, right? Be prepared. It's the same thing as Kayvon Thibodeau. If I was going to be a betting man right now on who I would take, whatever the odds are on mybookie.ag, I'd take Thibodeau. I think that's where it's sort of leaning. But you never know. You never know because, Neal, you know this. At some point in that first round, and especially early, somebody's going to panic and do something. They always do. They always do. Looking like Chicago last year with Justin Fields. There's something out there and somebody can't help themselves. So, it could be like poker, right? Maybe this is all part of the play in prodding different teams because they know if they talk about it. Teams don't want you to talk about their guy that they really want, right? If you're sitting at 4, 5, or 6 or whatever, and all you hear out of the Detroit Lions camp is guys that you want, and then you believe that, oh man, we might not get them, then it goes down to who wants them more, and what are you willing to do to get the guy? And then at the end of the day, the phone's there, so it will ring. So what do we have? 2.5 more weeks? 2.5 more weeks for the phone to ring? So this point on the Monday, right? When we're the Monday before the draft, that's when everything either goes really silent or the buzzes that you hear that come out are usually the ones that go, oh, wow, that's got something to it, right? Because everything quiets down, and then it's going to pick back up again, don't you think?
No, I do, and you're never going to see anything now, especially with the Lions being involved, because what team is going to trade up to 2?
The only thing
because if you trade up to 2, you know what if someone makes a trade for 2, you know what that means. You know what they want. They're in that quarterback market.
Right.
Because I don't think a lot, and somebody else said on our YouTube chat thread, there aren't a ton of guys that are trade up worth, like alter your franchise trade worth.
But isn't that move to make that done on draft day?
Because you're not doing it now to where if you're a team that values Malik Willis and say, all right, we're trading up to 2 to get him, another team that likes him says, well, then we got to go to 1.
And here's the one thing, too. Right? We don't know who Jacksonville's picking. And what if Jacksonville picks the guy, right? This say for all argument's sake, right? That Detroit wants Hutchinson. And that's who they want. But Jacksonville wants Hutchinson, right? So now the pros and the cons about knowing that somebody else can move up there to get Thibodeau or to get Malik Willis because it's the quarterback thing, right? Where Detroit says, my guy's not there, I'm going to listen a little bit more. Right? As opposed to if they're sitting there going, I'm taking Kyle Hamilton no matter what, or I'm taking this guy if he's there, if it's Kayvon, then we're not going to have this conversation. They're going to go forth with their plan. To me, the draft, Neal, for the Lions and what they do is what happens at the end of the first round and second round. But those 2 picks right there, because I think they're going to play into and if I was a betting man right now, I think there's something to do with Detroit using them to move back down in the first round, taking the number 2 pick and then moving back down to get somebody earlier in the first round, in the 20s.
And so for me, and look, I'm not opposed to Kyle Hamilton. Like, I just want to get that out there, and we'll have plenty of opportunity.
It's the money. It's always said it's because it's a safety and it's the money, where it's at. If you're going to pay Marcus Williams $15 million, how can you pay this kid $10 million? He's unproven.
And that's it. And look, so last year in the first round of the draft, J.C. Horn by the Panthers was the 8th pick. He's making J.C. Horn. He's making about $5.5 million a year. Now you want to do that, and you want to go get Kyle Hamilton? That's not you're convinced he's the dude. Then okay, then I'm on board. I'm not on board at $10 million a year for a safety, man. I'm just not, because especially when you parlay that with the fact that you had the best safety on the board get 15. That's it, Deem. And I think that's sound. It might not be right in the end. Maybe Hamilton is a gold jacket guy. Maybe in the end I'm wrong. But what you can't deny is that sound logic. That is sound logic that can't be defeated.
Well, it's sound logic because you have to use right now when you're building and stuff like this. Like we said, the drafts and the salary cap, no matter what sport it is, as an asset, right? And the fact that you just mentioned it when we were talking baseball about what the White Sox did, right? So it happens in every other sport and different things like this. It's how you set yourself up. You can't make what the Lions cannot do is what they've done in the past, and I don't believe they're going to do it, is take somebody there that handcuffs the franchise because of salary or anything else to move forward. So I think it's going to be the piece. Number 2 guy, if they pick it, is going to get paid. So why wouldn't that be, defensive end or something where the money needs to go, where it's gonna work out in the Neal Rule salary cap draft capital world.
Absolutely. Steve Brown, I can't wait for the draft. It can't happen soon enough. And you do, once you get through opening day and get to the Masters, I get that vibe too. I know Sam Flannel's getting it too. I can tell he's on one about the draft. I'm on one too about Cintron World, an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy beverages, premium bottled water, and revitalizer shots. Cintron, the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, Detroit City FC, and proud partners with the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. I know what you want. Premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and the non-negotiable, of course, is great taste. Cintron is your top choice. You can buy online at cintronworld.com. Use the promo code RedWings10. Save 10% with shipping included. Drink it. Live it with Cintron.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners of the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice.
Your favorite time of the show. That's right, Neal Rule here for Wing Snob. They got fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken. Wing Snob, the best traditional wings. The signature sauce is on point. The Jamaican jerk, the lemon pepper, but let's bottom line it. Wings are tossed to perfection in any sauce that you choose. When the wings are this good, you're allowed to be a snob. Order online right now. It's lunchtime. Go to wingsnob.com. Hook it up. Some of the best wings in the games, folks. Trust me. We had some in here a couple weeks ago. They were phenomenal. They are my new go-to wing choice. Yes. Why? Because it's Wing Snob, and they just have better wings. It's not hard. Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We're talking NFL draft every single show. The rest of the way. Not the whole show, obviously. We got some other stuff that we'll work in there. But it's front of mind, guys, and we're getting down towards the home stretch right now where, for the Detroit Lions, this is a franchise-altering draft. Let's be real. This one and the next one will dictate the entire tenure of Brad Holmes, to a lesser degree, Dan Campbell. I honestly believe that, and we're to the point now where you're pushing all your chips in with Brad Holmes. And that's a top. We'll get into that one coming up down the road because I don't think that enough importance is like we're programmed to love the draft, right? Because our team stinks, so we have to love the draft. Okay, we're conditioned to, we're programmed to, we were born into it. So through all that, I don't think I was born in it. Through all that, I still don't think that we recognize the importance of this draft, DMac. No. It is tenure defining for Brad Holmes. It's career defining for Brad Holmes. It's franchise defining for this franchise. But this draft and the next draft, this is why we're here, folks. This is why Brad Holmes is here. Let's not understate that.
Where's the clock, boys? Yeah,
Gosh darn it. There it is, right? Even more apparent. I think what happens is beginning of last season when I started the clock, but as things move along, as things go on, it shows you how imperative they have to get these things right. What it is, Neal, right? We're not used to it around here, although we've had successful drafts and different players. But other organizations, when it comes down to this crunch time, right, where it's make it or break it time in that window of the organization at the building spot, right, laying the foundation, this is where you're pouring the cement in. Well, they got to use the best cement this time, right? They have to get this right. And they got to look for the future so that you're not back here. Now, the difference in the NFL, which we've seen, is that in a few years, you can go from bottom to top if you do it right. That's why it's so imperative to hit on your top picks, to have your capital and have your money right. Right? That's what every other successful team does. What is the best thing about the New England Patriots? What do? They got their money right. They always got their money right. You know what I'm saying? And they're always there. Now, they're in there. Would you say the New England Patriots are on a downslide or in compared to what they have been over our lifetime?
No, because they were in the playoffs.
They're the antithesis of the Lions, right?
Yeah, their downslide is going to the playoffs.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you look at that foundation, that culture, and that's buy-in, but it's also draft. And it's not like Belichick makes, unbelievable decisions with drafting star players and stuff like that. He just gets the most out of what he has, and it's the system that's in place, right? Everybody, the Patriot system, the Patriot way, right? So we have to create the Lions way, and it doesn't. And we know, don't make it look anything like the Patriots way, except for having it handled that way that we get to the playoffs, right? So that's what the Lions are trying to do. Whatever it is, because we've never had it, but the Lions way.
Right. And I think we've come to find out, too, the Patriots, it isn't like a Patriots way. It's just the way. It's the way that you build a franchise.
But it's the way that they just consistently, because they're there, right? And then they're always there. And, how many times do we count them out? Or how many times you're looking for the excuse, they can't do this, they can't do that, they won't be there, they don't have this guy, and somebody else steps up. They regurge different guys. That's what's the most frustrating thing as a Lions fan? When somebody doesn't work out here and goes there and then they work out. Kyle Van Noy, Super Bowl rings, right? Because what did we do wrong? Because that's indicative on your organization, and that's where it's got to change. And that's what this draft, because where you're at and where you're picking, because it leads back to last year, you nailed it with Penei Sewell. You have to even more nail it now. Hopefully on the defensive side, but be prepared.
I don't even know that. And look, let's tread a little lightly, I guess. And I guess I'm kind of talking on both sides of my mouth where I say I'm not trying to overstate the importance of this, but at the same time, it is franchise defining. I don't think you even have to extra nail it. I think you just need to run it back. Exactly what you did, where you got a blue chip guy that you got in Sewell.
You need players.
I think a blue chip guy that you got in St. Brown, that, again, going back to it, Amon-Ra St. Brown in his entire Lions career will make less than Kenny Galladay makes next September. Let that sink in for a minute.
I will say this, Neal, that it's more imperative to nail the blue chip than it is to nail the utmost superstar, right? That's next year. Next year, because then you can start caveat. Because if you blue chip it and run it back like you did last year, look what you have.
Give me Sewell, give me St. Brown, and give me Aleem McNeil out of this draft this year. Give me that. Now, if you want to get hung up on technicalities and say, well, you got the extra pick, so I'm going to need a 4, I can't kill you on that one. Okay, cool. Give me 3, and then the next draft, give me 3 more, and boom, you got half a team on rookie contracts.
See, people understand. The more that you hit on the solid, because the Sewells and the St. Browns, they're going to progress. Right? More, and then the guys you get this year, they're going to progress, and then that enables you to, no matter what. And if you're progressing, that means you're winning. That means you're not drafting in the top 5, right? But even if you're 5 to 10 or 10 to 15, then you pinpoint
the guy that you need to get over the top. Then you look at your draft capital, you look at your salary cap, and you say, hey, do we move into the first because that guy's out there, whether it's a wide receiver or maybe the quarterback then or whatever it is, but because everything else is in place.
Yeah. Pistons fan 11, we aren't even meeting with Willis. There's zero chance of that happening, in my opinion. Well, I would go back to where they don't need to meet with. They coached him for a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the low-key thing in all of this. Like with the Willis stuff, yeah, they don't need to talk about it. They've got everything they need. Now, maybe he's not the play. Maybe you're right. Maybe there is no chance. But they've got everything they need.
The due diligence that this organization has done going into this draft, and even, more so, you can't say that from what we're hearing or what we're seeing, right, they're not doing their job or doing the best of it. And that's why you get conversations of Dan Campbell talking about all different names, leaking it out. Like I said, if you're talking about it, somebody hears you talking about it, who knows how they're going to react.
Yeah. Mike G. Easy does a great Neal Snob voice on the live reads. I'm just saying, is that true? Did he give
does. Yeah, he killed it a couple times. He went full Neal. Hormone-free chicken. Did
he really?
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Okay.
I'll run one. I'll pull one of those.
People are talking too. Are you guys going to the draft in Vegas?
We're trying to get that going. Send the heavyweights to the draft.
God!
Talk about golden content. In Vegas.
I feel like we don't even.
Don't you think we'd have to chaperone?
I mean, possibly.
I hate for them to go to Vegas. And you ever been to Vegas before?
I've never been to Vegas.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, you might need a chaperone.
I would have a level of concern. Well, you circled it back though. So maybe I wouldn't have to be that. I think I'd have to be.
I'm not concerned. You know why? Here's the whole thing, and this is coming from a full-fledged alcoholic or whatever like that. But as my guy was getting it, ain't afraid to mix in a water energy drink. I see, like. So Spence had a nice little. He had a nice little buzz going, but he sort of realized it. No, he's in for the long haul. And then he's coming over and he's drinking some mango banana, some energy drink, and would lay off. So that's the responsibility. I'm proud of him for that. That's something that I couldn't do.
Right. It's a learned skill.
It's a learned skill, but it's so important, and especially in this profession, right? So that's the balance. So. I knew, it's a quick note, but I knew when we were getting ready to broadcast or whatever, and I'm standing and Easy's on stage or Spence is standing beside him, I'm going, what is your boy doing out there tag team without you? And Easy sort of lost Spence or whatever, but these two guys got to get out there together, but they circled around, and it was fun to watch them do their stuff. But the balance that was shown by everybody here at Woodward Sports Network and enjoying their time, to me, that's the maturity I never had. Still don't.
I was seasoned from those tailgates at MSU to where I know how to go all day when I have to.
Yeah, you can work the clock.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, working the clock. I love it. Always working the clock.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a T-shirt for Spencer.
Yeah. There is something about those
clock to your mouth. That's right, because we got next season.
We do have next. There is something about those college football tailgates where we got to live that a couple times at Western, where you do like the morning round of drinking.
Oh yeah,
and then the game starts and you go back.
Start off at 6 a.m. Get a shower beer in.
Yeah,
and then go 100%. Down to the tailgate and
go to the tailgate. Do that when the game starts. Go back to the apartment or whatever.
Yeah.
Catch a nap.
Oh yeah.
Wake up, go out to the bar, do this. Yeah,
quite a few of those at MSU.
Yeah, that was some back in the day stuff. Pistons fan 11 also said, I think Levi with a full offseason program, assuming health, will look better this year. And there is that too. And I don't count those guys. Like Anzarike showed a flash or two. There is that, Melifonwu as well. But those guys are injured, and the biggest ability is availability. So I don't even count those guys. I don't. I know about 3 guys from that draft. I know. I'm prepared to go in with that and say I know about St. Brown, obviously Sewell, and also as well Liam McNeil.
And the exciting thing is that they're going to get better. They put the work in as they progress and everybody else does. So you preached it all along, Neal. It's nothing new you preaching. That's what the draft and draft capital, and that's why it's exciting here in Detroit, because it's exciting if you got a guy you believe in that can get the job done correctly.
And that's what it is. I mean.
Well, you know what Brad Holmes is?
Oh, no, yeah.
He's the guardian alarm.
He is, man.
He is the guardian alarm of the Detroit Lions right now. And if you view him as, the savior that's going to protect you like guardian alarm does, maybe he could already have it. If he doesn't, then I'm going to give him a phone number to call. But, whether it's for your home or your commercial or whatever your business, guardian alarm gets it. State-of-the-art monitoring, all with 24/7 right from your phone. You can turn the lights on, the temperature's down as it's getting nicer out here. Golf season has officially begun for DMac yesterday. Oh, even if the house is on fire, it will let you know, or the silent deadly killer, carbon monoxide. So whether you're GM Brad Holmes, Coach Dan Campbell, whoever you are, if you want to be part of the Big D Energy Guardian Alarm family, give them a call, 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Tell everybody, especially sitting, it looks like the roast is full today, Sammy. Give it to them, 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
Stay out of the house. Stay out of the flannels. For those extras, only going to spend $1,000 on those new flannels and the cutoffs too. But stay out with Guardian Alarm. You too can have Guardian Alarm.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today. Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Rule, DMac, Darren McCarty. We got Spencer, we got Sam Flannel as we work our way through. Tammy Chin talked about earlier in the show, wants to do a Woodward Sports meetup at a Tigers game. We will do that at some point this summer. There is no doubt. Mike G says, if you guys do that, I was told that Neal will clog up the line at the carousel with his 31 prepaid ride tickets, and he'll hang out with his Macomb entourage at the brass rail talking about 2 furnaces and 3 chimneys on their homes. Very on brand, Mike. Very on brand of you. Certainly do appreciate your contributions. Thank you. Thank you so much. But no, I also, we've been talking a lot about the NFL draft, and we will every single day of the show leading up to it. And then also, too, speaking of Brass Rail, we'll be down there for the NFL draft.
There you go. Live draft party, Brass Rail.
I demanded to be a central figure in the draft day coverage.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. It's going to be a great time. Love the Brass Rail.
I do too, man. It's a great spot. It's one of my favorite spots down there. And can't wait to get down there and do it on NFL draft day. I would imagine that Friday could be a little slow-moving the following day. But the juice of the draft will get you through.
Juice will get you flowing, especially if we, do Adam's route and draft the cocaine. That'll get it flowing. But, yeah, I'm excited. Either way. I'm going to have a good show on Friday, too. Don't worry.
Yeah, absolutely. JD Smith 3111 says, Neal, did you go to Western Michigan? No, I had a lot of friends that did go to Western, so I would slide through there on occasion. Never made it into a football game. Went to 6 of them, but never got in for the game. That stuff happens to you. The Pistons wrapped up their season yesterday, and look, let's be real about it. A big loss against the Sixers. That locked in the third worst record in NBA basketball, but an equal chance.
Thank you.
At the number 1 overall pick in the lottery, Luka Garza. I mean, the G Leaguers were out in full force.
G Leaguers were out hard.
And they did what they had to do. They lost that game, so they are assured the third worst record in the NBA. They are assured the top odds of winning the number 1 pick, also with Orlando and Houston. And look, I think the biggest thing for me is, somebody's going to jump up into that lottery, DMac. They always do. You just hope it's only 1 and not 2. But somebody always jumps up in there that shouldn't be in there. So for me, I think you pretty much locked up at least the number 4 pick. Now, by the math, it could be as low as 7. That's not going to happen, but
Well,
I think in real life you've locked up at least 4.
We're talking Pistons here, so when you're coming off having the greatest success with the bingo balls, I'm a big guy running it again. Press your luck. I think that in the basketball bingo balls that we got a good shot. I mean, we can legitimately win. In the hockey ones, no, we can't. The question I have for you in the whole 30,000-foot view, Sadiq Bey played all 82 games.
Hey, baby.
Played all 82 games this year. I think that, and obviously set the three-point record and stuff like this, but doesn't this tell you a little bit more, too, because, the durability, the resiliency, or to me that sort of jumped out just because of the consistency and of being like a true pro. Part of what you're looking for from Sadiq Bey is not only outside shooting, but the availability, right? And to me, that says a lot. Anybody who could play the full season, because injuries are a part of sports, and I know, from playing my sport and the way that I did, that injuries were a big part of it. But to me, that says something, as a piece moving forward. Because, how many times, Neal, do we question, no matter what sport it is, oh, this guy's great when he plays.
When he plays.
So,
and that's where it is.
I just thought that was unique out of everything. We can, now it should be the push. It should be the Woodward Sports push for Cade for Rookie of the Year and stuff like this. But, Sadiq Bey, give him some flowers too, not only for setting that record, but to me, that's the sort of quiet guy. We all see you guys all preach about Killian Hayes, the defense and stuff, and more of the availability. But to me, I guess it goes back to our interview with Jeremy Grant, and that these guys are all thinking if they're all healthy and playing together and stuff like that. And so I just thought that if people, Sadiq playing 82 games was one of the most impressive things to me, to what he's done this year. And it shouldn't be, it should be looked at because, okay, because that's a piece, right? You look to Sadiq Bey as a piece moving forward, right? Your shooter, your outside, whatever, and he's going to be there. So that's something else positive to look forward to when you're looking at losses.
Right. No, but it is, and availability is key. You have to be out there. And Sadiq Bey versus Killian Hayes, that's what we saw. And it's just big for me that for the Pistons, again, locking in that third spot or third worst spot, however you want to, whatever terminology you want to give to it. If you can survive something bad happening in the lottery where a team pops up in there above you, you can survive that and still get one of the 4. Now, I'm not a big Jaden Ivey guy, and that's consistent. I wasn't the entire time. I'm not a big, I'm not a big Keegan Murray guy either, because what schools do those two guys go to, Sam Flannel?
Purdue and Iowa.
Yeah, weird. Really weird.
They're damn good players, though. Come on.
Are they?
Yes.
Are they? Because when Jaden Ivey was on the floor against St. Peter's, was he a good player?
He picked the worst time of his life to have a terrible game. He was awful.
Hey, are you saying that the Purdue and the Iowa collapses translate into the individual performance of their players in the pro ranks?
I think I don't know about that. I think that's independent, but the view of them, I think the view of Jaden Ivey took a hit.
And how many, stars do we have out of Purdue and Iowa? I mean, thinking
it's
of
like the Ohio State
guys.
Quarterback thing.
Yeah, exactly. You got Carson Edwards. Obviously, everybody knew he wasn't going to be great in the NBA just because of his size. But Luka Garza, same thing. Like, not the most athletic guy. Probably not going to work out too well in the NBA. Caleb Swanigan, not even in the NBA anymore. And,
right.
It's
well,
tough
people
track
forget
record.
at some point you got to guard people.
Yes.
And look, I know I'm a big Banchero guy, and there are question marks about his ability to defend. However, he is a person that can get his own bucket independently, and that holds big time value in the NBA.
Basketball, is that sort of the trade-off?
That is the trade-off.
The trade-off
yeah.
to defense, if you can go get your own buckets, so that, yeah, no, it makes sense. And plus, I always look at it, well, if he's benefiting you and he's giving you positive on this end, then somebody else can fill in and help out defensively. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Defense in any sport's a team sport. Yeah, you need guys to do their part, but some guys, it's the same way as the more defensive guy and the guy that's going to do the dirty work down low, or in the corners, right? You got to pick up for him offensively. So it's a yin and yang, and it goes down to the team play. So I think right there, Neal, that's one that talent supersedes everything else, right? You're going to make that work.
Yeah, well, plus, too, what people don't realize, too, about Banchero is elite-level passer. Elite. And ask guys like Jokic if being an elite-level passer is important.
Yeah. No, the ball movement, that's what makes some of these bigs so good, is the fact that they have the mobility to move the ball around. And you can't, that's why they're so tough when you double them and boom, they can kick it out, and everybody else can score. So.
And what I like is if we do get Paulo, we got that offensive weapon at 4, then we can sign Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson.
Oh, you love you some Mitchell Robinson, man.
Because Knicks are my second favorite team, and that guy,
why?
He's a threat. Melo's my favorite player ever, not named Rasheed Wallace, and so I just love them. I love the Knicks.
We're gonna butt heads when we talk basketball.
Yeah,
man.
I know. I can tell.
I am not a Melo guy.
I love Melo. He's arguably the best offensive weapon the league has ever seen. I mean, he's not, but he's top 3 for sure.
You're kidding.
No,
you're kidding.
I'm not.
Spencer, are you still drunk from Friday?
Melo.
I thought you told me you hydrated.
Carmelo Anthony can do anything on the offensive side of the basketball court that you ask him to do, and he proved that.
But the fact that he couldn't do it on the defensive side and didn't have the extra couple guys to help out that way to produce.
That hurts my heart.
Oh, you mean he couldn't lift up a franchise?
If he would have came to the Pistons and they would have brought him into that going to work Pistons, whole career would have been different.
With those guys that are at the top elite, and if you say, and that's your opinion, top 3, top 5 offensive guy, right? But the imperativeness on what makes those guys the best is the fact they do play defense. The LeBrons, the Jordans.
Yeah, but offensive weapons, it's not like scoring.
But at the end of the day, that's not winning, Spencer.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not winning.
That's true. That's definitely true. But I still love the guy. It's like in my mind, it's like Kevin Durant. He's the best offensive weapon the NBA's ever seen because he can do anything on the court. And then
now that's reasonable.
That's reasonable. Yeah, that's a fact. I mean, he's a 7-foot guard.
I mean, it's debatable, but that's reasonable. It's a reasonable take,
and
unlike your Carmelo take.
Kobe, MJ, Larry Bird, Melo.
Yeah.
Like that's,
LeBron James is a better offensive weapon than Carmelo Anthony.
No.
You've got to be kidding me.
No.
He's broached his first.
It was just a matter of time.
He was running so smooth too, and everything was going so well.
I'm not upset with him.
I'm not upset with him.
Very
upset. But here's the thing. See, Easy would have wavered from it right now and changed his mind. He's holding true to this Carmelo Anthony. And it's not the greatest thing to hang off of, Neal, but he's hanging on to that thread.
I'm not saying he's the best player of all time, top 5 player of all time, but
you just
strictly
rank him offensively behind Larry Bird.
And here we go, too, in the YouTube chat thread with the Melo over Darko. Getting Darko over Melo was the biggest mistake in Pistons. Guys, let me break this down for you.
If they would have listened to Spencer, we would have had Melo.
If they drafted Carmelo Anthony, they don't win the championship because a Tayshaun block never happens.
I don't know about that. I don't know. I mean,
truth.
Tayshaun would still be in there. I think Melo would have been coming off the bench. You provide that scoring punch off the bench to subside Tayshaun's defense.
No, because you can't sit the greatest weapon in NBA, greatest offensive weapon in NBA history on the bench.
I said one of. He's definitely, like I said, Kevin Durant
top
definitely
5.
is. Top 5 for sure. Offensive weapons NBA for sure.
Not even top 20.
Yeah, thank you.
Not even top 20? That is blasphemous.
Blasphemous. Carmelo Anthony sucks.
Put down a
He's
list.
a borderline Hall of... No, okay, I won't go that far.
No, he is a definite Hall of Famer.
Okay, fine.
Shut his microphone off, Sam. Let me tell you about Gypsy Vodka instead, because hey, nothing says Monday morning for Spencer but to knock back about a bottle and a half of Gypsy Vodka, then come in here and talk about the fact that Carmelo Anthony is one of the top 5 best offensive weapons in NBA history. Now that's taking it a little bit too far. That's not being responsible. But hey, how can you blame him? It tastes great. It's the best tasting, smoothest vodka on the market. Why? It's corn distilled 6 times. It's gluten-free. They use artesian spring water. When you roll through the store, ask for it by name. And look, I've told you guys, Saturday night, that, Gypsy, some club soda, some lime, and we are ready to rock and roll. And it's my go-to. It is. I've replaced all the other vodkas that I've rolled with in the past. That liquor cabinet's full of the Gypsy because that's how we're operating. There's a bottle and a backup bottle, just to let you guys know. We're not running out of a Gypsy vodka on a Saturday night over at the Rule household because it is the best tasting, smoothest vodka on the market. Ask for it by name. It's Gypsy Vodka. As always, drink responsibly, especially you, Spencer.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
At Wing Snob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wing Snob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wing Snob. We just have better wings.
Coming down the stretch, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, final segment of the show. My name is Neal Rule. That guy is DMac, Darren McCarty. We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer Raxter, who's knee-deep in the sauce already here on a Monday. Talking about Carmelo Anthony being a top 5 offensive weapon in the history of the NBA. All right, everybody, let's get this back on the rails. Just looking over my shoulder here on ESPN, Frank Vogel out as a Lakers head coach after 3 seasons. And, you know, you talk, DMac, when I talked about it with the Red Wings, this is similar with there had to be a pound of flesh. So somebody was going to pay.
Yeah, but they won a championship.
And see, that's the other thing, too. And I know what you guys are all going to...
and I understand that. And LeBron, you know, taking all the heat and stuff like this, and the Vogel project was a limited time. But the fact that they did win a championship. So, I mean, I know he got fired after 3 seasons, but that's successful, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But the pound of flesh is exactly what it is.
Yeah, somebody was going to pay.
LeBron, and LeBron's taking a lot of heat for whatever else, but isn't it time for somebody else? He's 37 years old, how much he's played or whatever like this. What I notice is that LeBron James sort of looked at the pros and cons and the balance and where he was at and stuff like this and decided that, you know, he can't do it all himself. Gonna go, you know, into it, and it'll be interesting to see because what's next for the Lakers as far as the coach to see how engaged LeBron is coming back.
And here's the thing too, and look, I don't like the Lakers franchise. I grew up in Detroit as a Pistons fan. I'm not allowed to like the Lakers, even if I wanted to, which I don't. And they can have their little HBO specials about Showtime era and all that kind of stuff. I'm not watching it because I don't care. I know who beat the Showtime era, and that was the Detroit Pistons, led by Isaiah Thomas, who takes way too much slander in NBA circles. But, hey, I'll always come back to that topic. But here's the deal. I know you guys are loading up right now and getting ready to just fire them off in the YouTube chat thread because people love to see LeBron fail for whatever reason. I'm not that. They won a like this. Everyone's going to crush this team. He won a championship there.
Absolutely.
And it wasn't that long ago. It was 2 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. You know, he was brought in to win a championship with
and
LeBron
he did.
And stuff, and he did.
At 35 years old or whatever it was.
And I think that with the way that you see the transition of this team where the Lakers, you know, need the young guys to come up or whatever it is, Frank Vogel to me is more of a veterans coach team. So the fact he's got a championship, he'll resurface. They always do.
Yeah, they always do. I always wondered about that, too, where it seems as though coaches in sports are recycled with the exception of Ted Nolan for whatever reason, because Ted Nolan was a good coach but never got another shot. But anyway, that's a different conversation for a different time. And I have a very good friend of mine in college coaching where I asked him about that. I said, why is it always the same 11 dudes that get every coaching job? He goes, because there's only 11 guys that can do it. And that kind of opened my eyes, and I was like, damn, he's not wrong.
Well, how many times do we see that, right? We see that in the NFL so many times just because you're coaching or whatever, but guys like not only not do an adequate job, but just absolutely be aloof to the process. And you go, you're a coach. So coaching at different levels. But, Neal, that's the thing. There's only so many people that are capable of it. and it's tougher than it looks. And everybody thinks it's like anything else. Everybody thinks they want to do it, until they do it, right?
Yeah, it's just not as easy. Brandon Katz, Anthony Davis was healthy when the Lakers won a title, and Davis was in a contract year. Davis will never be as healthy as he was that year. Again, LeBron is older too, and that's my point too.
They jumped on their window and
they
did
got
what
it.
they were supposed to do.
And they cashed one in. And look, you want to talk about overrated
Cash me
players.
outside.
To me, Anthony Davis is the epitome of an overrated player.
Yeah.
Anthony Data Davis, man.
He was
that
the
guy.
second best player on a championship team, though.
And that's it, and that's fair.
And he put up phenomenal numbers, one of the best talents at the big man position ever.
I know,
his problem is injury.
But that's part of it, man. And that's why, and I remember having this conversation with a lot of people 5 years ago. I'm like, you guys have got to understand about Jokic. And we would talk about this on the team bus for Oakland or the team flights or whatever. I would say, give me Nikola Jokic right now over Anthony Data Davis. And I got murdered by basketball people. Got murdered.
You were proven right. Nikola Jokic is a unicorn.
Yep. So there it is.
He's about to win MVP again. 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 500 assists. Only time it's ever been done in NBA history.
And I love him, DMac, because he's one of those guys. He's going to retire, and then the next day he's going to weigh 300 pounds.
Oh,
the next day. I'm talking about like he'll be
he's
at
gonna
the
be Big Baby Davis, but on the playground, just dropping 3 balls with the guy standing in the corner, right, just posting up.
He's going to go top of the key to top of the key.
Top of the key to top of the key, and then just out of the blue, when the kids are chirping him, right, he runs up and he just power dunks it at 350.
Yeah,
right.
And it takes everything he's got to do it that
once.
once.
Down so the kids can't play no more. Everything you got, walk off. There it is.
He's going to retire.
I'm a huge fan of Dak the Joker.
Oh, I am too. I love. He's my favorite player in the NBA. Favorite player in the NBA. So that's hey, great show today, guys. It was great being back here in the studio. Love it. We'll be back at it tomorrow. You know how we do. For DMac, for Spencer, for Sam Flannel, my name's Neal Rule. Thanks for listening and watching, everybody. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.